Hey everyone, this video will cover annotations in Arthea. Annotations in Arthea have a host of capabilities that operate similarly, but can be used for very different objectives. This video will cover every annotation feature, so if you're looking for how to do something specific, check out the description and jump to the right part of the video. When you're in annotate mode, the 6 annotation functions appear as a circle of hexagons around the color palette on your left hand, and as icons on the touchpad on your right hand. You can select them by either pointing the laser and clicking the trigger at the left-handed icons, or by moving your thumb around the icons on the right hand. The first annotation function is the brush tool, which operates like a 3-dimensional free draw. When selected, you can hold down the trigger on the right hand to draw wherever you move the controller. You can change the color you're using by pointing at the palette on your left hand and using the laser and clicking the trigger to select the color you want. Annotations you create will appear as layers in the Layers menu. And if you have another object selected when you create an annotation, those layers will become layers of that object rather than their own new layer. The next function is the Vector Draw tool. It draws similarly to the brush tool, except you create straight lines by selecting points that are automatically connected. When you have the tool and the color you want selected, click the right trigger to start a line and click it again wherever you want the line to end. A transparent outline will follow your hand, showing you where the line will be when you click the trigger. From there, every new trigger click will continue creating lines between the new point and the last point you made. To end this cycle, click the handle button on your right hand, or select a different tool. The third function around the annotation wheel is the Paint Bucket tool. It can be used to change the color of existing annotations and objects in the Layers menu. Select the Paint Bucket tool and any objects you want to recolor, as well as the color that you want to use. Once everything is selected, simply click the right trigger, and the selected layers will change to the selected color. The next tool is the Measurement tool. It can be used to create lines that will show you the relative size of different objects in VR. Creating rulers works the same as creating lines with the Vector tool, but the lines will have numbers beside them that represent their length relative to the first ruler that you made. In other words, the first ruler you create will always be a length of 1, no matter how long it is, and every other ruler you create after that will show the length relative to the first ruler as a decimal. Hitting the Reset button will delete all rulers, and it is the only way to erase the original ruler. The fifth tool is the Protractor tool. It is similar to the Measurement tool, except it will display an angle between two lines rather than a length. Like creating rulers or lines with Vector Draw, simply click the right trigger to start a line, click again where you want the vertice to be, and then a third time to create the second line that will create an angle. The angle will display in degrees as the shortest angle between the two lines. Keep in mind, angles in Arthea are only measured up to 180 degrees, so complementary angles are measured from there. The final tool on the Annotate wheel, but perhaps the most important tool, is the Eraser. Don't worry about making any mistakes with any of the other tools. The Eraser tool can always be used to delete lines, vectors, rulers, and angle measurements. When you select the tool, red spheres will appear on all the annotations that you can delete. Move your right hand and click the trigger on a sphere to delete the annotation attached to it. Hopefully this tutorial was helpful and you feel a little more familiar with all the annotation tools in Arthea. Of course, always feel free to go to our forum and ask any more questions that you might have. And please, have fun in Arthea.